start going down through the agenda and talk about discussion items.
Minutes, because I'm meeting.
Everybody okay with that? Yes, no, no, okay. All right, I guess we can't technically call the meeting to order, but, I guess we're just gonna go through the agenda anyway. We can't, vote on it, or vote on anything. I guess starting kind of with the minutes, did everybody get a copy of the minutes from the last meeting? Get a chance to look at them?
I'll make sure everybody can hear.
Okay, yeah, Melanie, I think Melanie and Eric are on the Zoom. Can you guys hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Eric? Is that a yes? Can you hear us okay, Eric? Maybe not. And did we identify the third person? Is that somebody?
Eric.
Okay. Okay. Well, so I don't know if you can hear us or not, Eric, but for Melanie's sake, in case you didn't hear, we're going to just start with a discussion here. We don't have a quorum at this point, but we're going to talk about some of the items. And if we get a quorum here later on, maybe we can make it an official meeting. So again, everybody got a copy of the minutes? Or was there anything that we need to discuss there? Any additions, corrections?
Church should not be an additional attendee. He's our alternate.
Okay, Nate Church is the alternate. So we'll make that change to the minutes. And
I did not get the minutes, by the way.
you did not get the minutes? And so you're not on the list. Can we add Nate to the email list, Hutch? Okay, that's strange. Okay. All right, I guess we'll note that one change, and again, we'll have to hold off for actually getting approval for them. Old business report from the apparatus replacement committees, hand in hand first with the engine. I really don't have anything to report there. Again, it's kind of on autopilot or on hold or whatever you want to call it at this point. So I don't really have anything there. Lafayette, is there anything ladder truck to report?
Just the ladder truck is in the agenda. It should be 2026. That was actually in the minutes for a correction, but it didn't take place.
Yeah, I'm seeing 2026. Oh, I'm sorry, the minutes.
And is 8 should more. Yes, it should be 26, and that was actually in the minutes of this meeting to change it to 2026. So whoever does the updating of the agenda, I think we need to change that. As far as a report on the ladder truck, nothing's really changed. They are still meeting twice a month, and the vendor that is helping us to write the, I'm going to call it boilerplate spec, they said they would have that back to us by the end of this week. I've not heard that we received that yet, so still have a day. And then once we get that back, then we will send that out for bid.
Do you have any questions for Lafayette on that?
That was circulated around to the other fire companies.
Not yet. We didn't even get the plan back yet.
And they're usually done before.
Yes. Yes. So the boilerplate is a generalized spec. So once we get that back, we need to take a look at it and fine tune it. Once we have our fine tuning done, then we send it out to all the other fire companies. But usually that occurs a little bit later in the game
I thought, I heard you say it was going out to bid, so.
yet. No, we have to get the spec back, and then we have some review of that, fine tuning, and then we would send it out to bid. But the fine tuning is the process that also includes the township fire companies.
Okay, any other questions for Dave on that? Okay, and we'll move into subcommittee reports. The Public Information Committee. We've been meeting. We're working on an article right now. The next one, I think, is due to the township like the 6th, December 6th, and that will be on. It's more of a kind of a public service type of article. It'll be about 911, calling 911, and what to expect, things to be prepared for, do's, don'ts, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we're working on for the next one. I don't think we have I know there's a couple more we have on the drawing board. I don't know that Dakota helped me out, or I don't know that we finalized the next one. We're trying to work a couple issues ahead. I know we're talking about doing one for firefighter of the year, that type of thing, recognizing the time.
That actually might be the next one.
I think too, that might be the next one if we have the information in time, but we have a couple other ones on. We'll try to come back. Maybe what we can do, we'll be meeting again here before too long. Maybe at next ESC, we can come back with 3 or 4 kind of next year's schedule, so to speak. And then if might be a little more helpful for the committee to give us some input if they'd like to see anything change there or ideas that are more important. So that's where we're at with that. Any questions on that? Anyone? Okay, then we'll go to finance, the ESC Finance Subcommittee. We did meet, I think, first Thursday of the month. And I don't know that we necessarily have a chairperson. We have a few people here that were in attendance. Myself, Dave Keynes was there, Hutch was there, and I think Donna was there as well. I don't know, anybody want to give a report? I guess I'm kind of open that up for discussion of what was discussed, feedback to the ESC.
My point of view, I think it was just a general generating of ideas and trying to sort out what I think it's a preliminary thing because we have all the correct committee members in attendance.
So yeah, it was more of a.
We have a schedule. We're meeting the first Thursday of every month for now until one of the big things we're looking at is making some kind of criteria for refurb. Because there's nothing out there for refurb. You know, how long is it supposed to last? What's the cost? What will the township contribute? That's a big one right now that needs to be done because more people are looking at refurbs. We're looking at expenses for each company and going over what everybody seems to think they need compared to. It's very difficult because the 4 fire companies are so different from one end of the township to the other. So we need to find our middle ground to be able to get something accomplished.
Yeah, I would just add that there were some materials that I need to get out to the committee members that we talked about, so I'll be doing that. And talked about apparatus, we talked about operating costs, we talked about the whole gamut of things.
Yeah, we were kind of all over the place for now. So.
I bring some focus to it in the coming meetings.
Okay, anybody have anything to add or any questions for the committee on that? Okay, if not, then we'll go to the next item is human resources. So that's the ESC Human Resources Subcommittee. Are there any members here? I know, are there any members in the room that were at that meeting? I don't think there are, and we're thinking maybe, we think Eric activity was there. Eric, can you hear us at all yet, or can you, contribute anything on that? Doesn't sound like Eric's hearing us or being able to communicate with us.
I was able to hear us earlier.
Yeah. Did anyone else have any feedback from their, that they spoke to their members that might have been there? I guess, is there anything for us to discuss? If there's not, we'll just keep moving. But I mean, I know I talked to a couple of members that were one of them that was there. And it sounded kind of like the finance committee. I think it was pretty broad, wide-ranging discussion. Right? You were kind of figure out where to start here. What are the tasks ahead of us? But I really don't have a lot of specifics. It sounded like it was just kind of again, similar type of event where I figure out what the goals are and how to go about that.
The only thing I have heard was each company discussed different methods that they used or currently are using to get kind of recruitment retention, get new members in the door. Thank you. Other than that.
I guess we should maybe try to reach out to that committee and have them at least be represented at the ESC the next time. I don't know if that's something that staff can do, or if you want myself or Eric, maybe to send an email out to that group and just ask them to have a person at the ESC meeting for sure. I know we thought Eric was going to be here this evening, but
Gonna try and call in, he says.
okay. All right, well, we'll table that, then maybe if we can get him on the line here, we can have his, I would like to hear his take on that. Okay, moving along, go to the calendar. So I think a couple of the items on the calendar for up for discussion this evening are, one is the 2024 planned capital expenditures. Looks like in the handout we have here, we have a couple of them. Hutch, is that correct? Are we still waiting for two of those, or what's the status of them?
Yeah, we got information from 3 of the fire companies. Usually these are received from Burdenhand. So everybody.
We didn't have our budget meeting yet, but as far as I know right now, nothing over 7,500.
Yes. All right. Any questions on any of those from anyone? Discussion? Okay, if not, then we'll keep moving to the next item on the calendar is 2024 activities, and you should have a copy, if you got the packet here, of the activities that were approved, I guess, by the township last year, 2023. So I think what we're probably looking for is an update to that. Anything additions,
Right,
changes?
additions, changes, deletions, yeah. Anything, so that the board can then do this again early in 24 and have everybody covered.
I mean, I just kind of glanced at it, but I didn't see anything. I don't know that anything's changed on our end. Does any of the companies see anything that should be changed? Are we looking for an answer on that this evening, or should we take it back and share it with our members, board of directors or whatever, and maybe get feedback from them and then approve it next month or next meeting? Would that be all right?
Yeah, that should
I wouldn't mind sharing it with our board, and maybe somebody else that's something to add or take away or changes. Like I said, nothing stands out to me. I mean, it's a little.
For the past 2 years, I believe, so.
Okay. And we'll go to new business, starting with A, polling the township.
Yeah, just a few things I wanted to mention. The PennDOT project, which is mainly the resurfacing of Route 30 from the intersection of 896 east. That's going to go beyond the township line, but it will go all the way to the end of the township line. It'll be starting in spring of next year. They did award a bid. They've had a pre-construction meeting. It really goes all the way down to Gap, so we don't know at this point which end they're going to be starting on. So, but the other thing that's part of that project is sort of the update of the intersection itself. There's going to be new signal equipment that is the color and decorative style equipment like you see at the intersection of Dutch Wonderland and Tanger. And then it'll also have the stamped colored asphalt crosswalks similar to what is in existence right now at Oakview and 30. So that'll be changing. So you won't have span wire signals at that intersection. It actually poles and mast arms there. So that'll be a change. Pardon me? Yeah, separate project to replace the culvert, which is just east of Soudersburg Road, has been postponed now till 25 because they want to get this resurfacing project done before they jump into that. The first part of the Rock Hill Square redevelopment land development plan has been submitted, so hopefully, Dave, you see the plan?
I have not seen the plan, but I know guys.
Oh, yes, okay. So that'll be started its way through the approval process. The first portion that they're doing is 4 buildings that would be a total of 128 apartment units. Then the other thing I wanted to mention was that at the end of this year, as we have every year, is the rotation. Members' terms expiring, so Susan Yoder's Township Citizen will expire. Don Boyer's term as the alternate for Hand in Hand will expire. John Petersheim as a citizen for Hand in Hand will expire. Jason Bylers as Lafayette's rep will expire. Nate Church as will expire. Melanie McHenry's as a citizen rep will expire, and Greg Sherman's as a Whitmer's Fire Company rep will expire. So we need names, whether it's the same people or somebody different, to fill those spots.
So those 1-year terms or 2 year?
2-year terms. Yeah.
As long as I think in ours, John, I think this was John's first year, I thought. That's
He filled
he filled,
somebody.
you're right. I think Jim resigned.
Yeah, Jim resigned.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
the end of that term.
Understood. Okay.
You just don't have to tell John.
Yeah.
He won't do it.
Yeah, if you don't attend the meeting, you can get it.
So an email to you with our company's nomination for that, or what's the process there to?
Yeah, email's fine. We just need to get those appointments done before the ESC's January meeting. So, and yeah, the supervisors meetings in January are the 2nd and the 15th, I believe. And BSC meets on the 18th. So,
No later than the end of the year, basically. So, okay.
that was all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you much. And we'll pull the fire companies, usually do an alphabetic order. So I don't know that I have a whole lot to really report coming in the end of the year. It feels like the end of the year for us. So I don't think I really have any report. Lafayette.
Extra Givers tomorrow, we'll be participating in that, but we have up in December.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Thanks. The struts, we're still waiting on the struts to come in. Tonight we're meeting with Bob Longley for insurance. Get the vehicle insurance up with it. That's it. As soon as he gets that, I'll get it up. For 2024, we purchased a training package through Bucks County Community College where we get 200 hours of training at our firehouse. So we will be scheduling classes at our station next year. And the other thing is we purchased more dollies for the engine, right? So the rescue and the engine now carry dollies that we can move vehicles off the roadway before the tow comes. Or they're just on the rescue. Now we have the engine and the rescue. The engine. And that's all we have.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Whitman.
December 2nd, we have our Santa run and milk cookies event in the evening. December 6th, we have a blood drive. December 12th is Child Protect. And then looking ahead to February is our next Oxford is on the 10th. PennMed also reached out and we have the most successful blood drive with an average of 30 donors for each drive. So that's exciting stuff. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks for that, Mike. And is there any new business by anyone else? Anything that's unmuted? If not, then we'll continue to poll the public for public comments. Anybody in the public have any comments on anything?
The only thing I just want to add is that Penn Medicine is going to continue to partner with us with trial for 2024.
Okay. Any other public comments? Okay, if not, next thing on the agenda. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Melanie, do you have anything to add? Public comments or I guess rep comments.
No, I don't, but thank you.
Thank you. And we're still not live with Eric. Eric, can you hear us okay, Eric? Do you have anything to add? I'm having a little trouble getting a hold of Eric here this evening.
Oh.
Yes, I think, can you hear us? I think we heard you there for a second. Yeah. He's unmuted. We're still not hearing anything coming through, Eric, if you can hear us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we got you. Did you have anything
Got
you'd
you?
like?
Okay.
Yeah, could you,
Well, I know the discussion about the meeting we had about hearing and, you know, both for the fire company people as well as for, you know, citizens helping out. Desiree Kramer is going to be sending out the meeting minutes for that. We basically had about 6 or 8 people at the meeting. Let me see if I can get the list of the people here that we had at the meeting. It was 2 people from Hand in Hand that were Byler and Petersheim. There was Desiree Kramer from Whitmer, as well as Chris Miller. There was Brad Bell from Lafayette, and there was Brian Clark there from Bronx. And we were talking about the issues, and we, you know, no surprise, it was 2 different sets of issues. One for volunteering in general, and then there was one for getting people that actually could go through the certification process and fight fires and that type of thing. And so we talked about next steps for that, and Desiree will have that on the notes. One of the things that we talked about was culture. Talked about culture in each of the fire companies, and it's a match of people that are volunteering and the kinds of organizations that they like to volunteer in, and whether the leadership or the culture of that fire company aligns with that person. We've seen people that have lived in one area but volunteered in another because the culture was a little bit more to their liking. And so we're going to drill down a little bit more on that. There was a discussion about each fire company at some point in time doing an assessment of their culture, doing an assessment of their leadership within themselves, not somebody outside, but within themselves. I know Hand in Hand said that they had done some work on looking at their leadership, looking at the kind of culture that they had within the organization to see if that was helping or hurting them in terms of getting volunteers. And that was one of the recommendations that came out, was that each of the companies would do kind of a deep dive themselves to see, you know, are there things within their organization, within their leadership, with the way they do things that are helping or harming their volunteer interest and that type of thing. But Desiree will come out with the meeting minutes, and we'll make sure everybody gets copies of them. It's about an hour-long meeting.
okay, thank you for that, Eric. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Just as part of the
Not at this point in time.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Okay, that is the end of our agenda. Again, since it's not an official meeting, I guess at this point, we don't need to ask for adjournment. Anybody else have anything at all before we wrap it up? Okay.
Happy holidays. See you next
Thank you.